Commander Taiho Kim stood at the main window of Earth Defense Headquarters. His eyes moved across the night sky. The stars looked the same as always, but everything had changed. After years of waiting and wondering, they were no longer alone in the universe. "Sir, we have another signal," said Officer Minji at her computer station. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook slightly. Taiho walked to the central screen. The message was clear now. The aliens had been watching Earth for a long time. They called themselves the Voron Collective, and they were coming. "How long until they arrive?" Taiho asked. 3 days, sir. Their ships are faster than anything we have." Taiho nodded and turned to his second-in-command. "Call the World Council. We need to meet right away." Dr. Jiwoo Park had spent her life looking for signs of alien life. Now, at age 45, she wished she hadn't found it. The Voron message was not friendly. They didn't ask for permission to visit Earth. They simply told humans to prepare for their arrival. "They see us as primitive," Jiwoo explained to the World Council members on the large video screen. "From what we can translate, they believe they have the right to take over any world they find." "Take over?" asked the council leader. "You mean invasion?" "They call it incorporation," Jiwoo said. "They want Earth's resources. They don't seem to care much about us." Commander Taiho stood up. "We've been preparing for this possibility for years. The United Earth Defense Force is ready to protect our planet." "Against ships that can cross galaxies?" someone asked. "What chance do we have? We fight," Taiho said simply, "or we surrender everything our ancestors built." The room fell silent. Lieutenant Sujin Kim checked the systems on the orbital defense platform one more time. As Commander Kim's daughter, she felt extra pressure to perform perfectly. The platform was Earth's first line of defense, a giant ring around the planet with the most advanced weapons humans had ever built. "All systems ready," reported Technician Do-hyun from his station. "But will it be enough?" Sujin didn't answer. Nobody knew if Earth's defenses would work against alien technology. They were about to find out. Her communication device beeped. It was her father. "Sujin, the first Voron ships have entered our solar system. They'll reach Earth's orbit tomorrow morning." She took a deep breath. "We're ready, Father." "Be careful up there," he said. His voice, usually so strong, had a hint of worry. "This is not a drill." "I know," she said. "Earth defense platform standing by." The first sight of the Voron ships made everyone gasp. They were massive, dark purple vessels shaped like giant sea creatures. They moved through space with impossible grace. The main ship was the size of a small city. "They're hailing us," said Officer Minji. The screen in the command center lit up. The alien that appeared looked almost human-like, but with pale blue, skin and eyes that were completely black. It wore what seemed to be a uniform made of shifting metal. "I am High Commander Vorex of the Voron Collective," it said in slightly mechanical English. "Your world is now under our protection. Resistance would be unfortunate." Taiho stepped forward. "I am Commander Taiho Kim of the United Earth Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact with other civilizations, but Earth is a sovereign planet. We do not accept outside rule." The alien's expression didn't change. "Your understanding is not required. Prepare for our landing teams. They will begin resource evaluation immediately." "We cannot allow that," Taiho said firmly. "We request proper diplomatic talks before any landing occurs." The alien seemed to find this amusing. "You misunderstand. We are not asking permission. The collective has claimed your world. Your technology level is Class 3. Ours is Class 9. The outcome is already determined." The screen went black. Dr. Hunbin Lee watched the news reports from his underground lab. As Earth's leading quantum physicist, he had been working on experimental defense systems for years. Now he wished he had more time. "Dr. Lee, should we activate the Nexus protocol?" asked his assistant. "Not yet," Hyunbin said. "It's not ready for full deployment. The neural links are still unstable." The Nexus protocol was his life's work, a way to connect human minds directly to weapon systems. It would give reaction times that no computer could match, but it was dangerous. The first test subjects had suffered severe mental damage. His phone rang. It was Commander Kim. "Doctor, how quickly can your system be ready?" "Sir, we need more testing. The risks, we don't have time for testing anymore," Teho interrupted. "The Voron have rejected all attempts at negotiation. They're sending landing ships to every major city." Hyunbin closed his eyes. "I understand. We'll prepare the system for emergency use." In Geneva, Dr. Jiwoo Park sat across from the alien representative. Unlike High Commander Vorx, this Voron was smaller, with lighter blue skin. It called itself Coordinator Velex. "Your resources belong to the collective now," it explained as if teaching a child. "Your people may continue their lives under our guidance. Those who cooperate will be treated well. And those who don't?" Jiwoo asked. "Will be removed. Your planet has exceeded its sustainable population level by our calculations. A reduction is necessary." Jiwoo tried to hide her horror. "Reduction? You're talking about killing people?" "It is simply resource management," the alien replied without emotion. "Your species reproduces quickly. The excess will be processed for material reclamation." Jiwoo stood up. "This meeting is over. Earth will never agree to these terms." The alien didn't seem surprised or upset. "Agreement is not required. The process begins today." Sujin's warning alarms blared all at once. On her screen, she saw hundreds of smaller Voron ships breaking away from the main fleet. "They're heading toward Earth's surface," Dohyun shouted. "Multiple trajectories. They're targeting major cities." "Defensive systems online," Sujin ordered. "Track and prepare to intercept." Her communication device lit up with her father's face. "Sujin, the negotiations have failed. The Voron intend to—" A massive explosion cut him off. Sujin could see a bright flash from the Earth below, somewhere in Asia. "Father, what's happening?" "They've attacked Shanghai," he said, his voice tight with anger. "No warning. Millions. Dead in seconds. We're under full attack. Defend the orbital platform at all costs." Sujin turned to her crew. "All weapons free. Target the Voron landing ships first." The orbital platform's weapons fired, destroying several alien vessels, but there were too many. For every ship they destroyed, 10 more appeared. Below them, more. Bright flashes lit up Earth's surface. Beijing, Moscow, New York, London. One by one, the world's major cities were being hit. "They're not even trying to capture them," Sujin realized with horror. "They're just destroying everything." A direct hit rocked the platform. Warning lights flashed everywhere. "Hull breach in Section 4, Dohyun reported. "We're losing oxygen," Sujin strapped herself into the command chair. "Seal all emergency bulkheads, keep firing." Through the viewport, she watched as her home planet burned. The war for Earth's survival had begun, and humanity was losing. In the command center below, Commander Taeho Kim made the hardest decision of his life. He opened a secure line to Dr. Lee's laboratory. "Activate the Nexus protocol," he ordered. "Whatever the cost, we must find a way to fight back. Earth depends on it." As the Voron ships continued their attack, no one realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its weapons or technology. It was in what the aliens couldn't understand. Humans would never give up, no matter the odds. And when pushed to the edge of extinction, they would become more dangerous than any species in the galaxy could imagine. 3 weeks after the first Voron attack, Earth was a changed planet. Major cities lay in ruins. Billions of people were now refugees, moving constantly to avoid the alien hunters. But humans were not defeated yet. Dr. Hyunbin Lee hadn't slept in days. His underground lab hidden beneath the Korean mountains was one of the few research facilities still intact. The room was filled with the soft hum of machines and the smell of coffee. "The neural interface is stabilizing," said his assistant, showing him the latest test results. "We've solved the feedback problem." Hyunbin nodded. The Nexus protocol was finally working. It allowed human minds to connect directly with computers and weapons systems. What normally took machines seconds to process, a human brain could now do almost instantly. Is it safe? Hyunbin asked. Safer than before, his assistant replied. But still risky. The human mind isn't built for this kind of connection. Hyunbin looked at the test subject sleeping in the medical pod. The young soldier had volunteered, despite knowing the dangers. Like everyone else, he was willing to risk everything to save Earth. We don't have a choice anymore, Hyunbin said. The Vorin are winning. We need this to work. Lieutenant Soo-jin Kim had barely escaped when the orbital platform was destroyed. Her escape pod landed in what used to be northern Japan. Now she was in an underground bunker facing her father on a secure video link. The Nexus protocol is ready, Commander Taeho told her. Dr. Lee needs operators with quick minds and strong wills. You're at the top of his list. Soo-jin wasn't surprised. As one of Earth's top fighter pilots, she had the fast reactions needed. For the neural link, what exactly will I be controlling, she asked. We have a new orbital defense system, her father explained. Smaller than the platform, harder to detect. If you connect through the Nexus, you can control it with your thoughts. No delay, no computer limitations. What about the risks? Her father's face showed rare emotion. They're significant. The connection puts enormous stress on the human brain. No one has used it for more than an hour without problems. Problems. Seizures. Memory loss. In the worst cases, brain damage. Soo-jin straightened her shoulders. When do I start? Colonel Junho Park moved silently through the ruins of Tokyo. His small team of soldiers followed close behind. They each wore special suits that helped hide them from Vorin scanners. Target ahead, whispered Sergeant Do-yun, pointing to a Vorin scout ship that had landed in what used to be a park. Junho signaled his team to spread out. The alien technology was far beyond human weapons, but they had discovered a weakness. The Vorin relied heavily on their advanced sensors. They never expected a simple physical attack. Wait for my signal, Junho ordered. When the alien soldiers exited their ship, Junho threw a special device. It created a brief but powerful electromagnetic pulse. The aliens' equipment flickered and died. Now, Junho shouted. His team attacked, with simple weapons, knives, bows, and spears. The surprised aliens fell quickly. The human soldiers dragged the bodies away and planted explosives in the ship. As they retreated to a safe distance, Junho activated the detonator. The alien vessel exploded in a ball of blue fire. That's our third this week, Do-hyun said with grim satisfaction. Junho nodded. Small victories, but they add up? What the Vorin hadn't understood was that humans had been fighting wars against each other for thousands of years. They knew how to adapt, how to find an enemy's weakness, how to survive against impossible odds. In the secret facility beneath the Korean mountains, Soo-jin lay in the neural connection chamber. Cold gel covered her skin where the sensors attached. She tried to stay calm as Dr. Lee explained the procedure. The interface will connect directly with your brain, he said. You'll feel a rush of information at first. It might be overwhelming. I'm ready, Soo-jin said. Once connected, you'll be able to control the orbital weapons with your thoughts, faster than any computer system. But remember, you must disconnect after 45 minutes. Any longer is dangerous. Soo-jin nodded. I understand. Doctor. Lee started the connection sequence. Good luck, Lieutenant. Soo-jin felt a strange tingling across her scalp, then a sudden rush like being pulled into a fast-moving river. Her vision blurred, then cleared. But what she saw wasn't the lab anymore. She could see Earth from above. The orbital defense satellites were like extensions of her own body. She could feel them, move them with a thought. And she could see the Vorin ships, hundreds of them, moving through Earth's orbit. Connection stable, she heard Dr. Lee say, his voice sounding far away. Lieutenant, can you hear me? Yes, Soo-jin replied, though her mouth didn't move. The computer translated her thoughts. I can see everything. It's incredible. The Vorin are launching another attack wave, Dr. Lee said. Tokyo sector, can you intercept? Soo-jin didn't need to answer. She simply thought about the defense satellites and they moved into position. She could calculate trajectories instantly without computers. Her mind reached out, targeting the alien ships. The orbital weapons fired. Not randomly, but with perfect precision. The first wave of Voron ships exploded before they even realized they were under attack. On the main Voron command ship, High Commander Vorrex received the alarming reports. "Impossible," the commander said. "How are their weapons suddenly so effective? They are primitives." "The human defense systems have changed," reported a subordinate. "They're reacting faster than our predictive algorithms. We've lost 40 ships already." Vorrex studied the battle data. Something was different. The human weapons were the same, but they were being used with impossible speed and accuracy. No computer system could react that quickly. "Prepare the main fleet," Vorrex ordered. "We will overwhelm them with numbers." Colonel Junho's team watched from their hiding place as hundreds of Voron ships descended toward Earth. "There are too many," Do-hyun said quietly. "We can't fight that many." Junho's communication device activated. It was Commander Taeho. "Colonel, we need your team for a special mission," Taeho said. "The Voron have established a main ground base in the ruins of Osaka. It's coordinating their ground forces." "You want us to attack it?" Junho asked. "That's suicide, sir." "Not attack. Infiltrate. We need you to plant these." The screen showed a small device. Dr. Lee's new quantum disruptors. They'll temporarily disable the Voron's communication network. For how long? Minutes at most, but during that time, they'll be vulnerable. Lieutenant Kim will handle the rest from orbit. Junho looked at his team. They were tired, hungry, but their eyes showed determination. "We'll do it, sir," he said. In the neural connection chamber, Soo-jin fought against overwhelming numbers. For every Voron ship she destroyed, 3 more appeared. But she didn't feel fear or doubt. Connected to the Nexus, her mind was focused only on patterns, trajectories, targets. "Lieutenant, you've been connected for 50 minutes, Dr. Lee warned. You need to disconnect soon." "Not yet," Soo-jin thought. "The main attack is still coming." She could feel blood trickling from her nose. Her head pounded with pain, but she ignored it, focusing on the battle. Suddenly, something changed. The Voron ships faltered. Their perfect formation broke apart. They began moving randomly without coordination. "Colonel Junho's team did it," Dr. Lee exclaimed. "The Voron communication network is down. They can't coordinate their attack." Soo-jin didn't waste the opportunity. With lightning speed, she directed every available weapon at the confused alien fleet. Explosions lit up Earth's orbit as ship after ship was destroyed. For the first time since the invasion began, the humans were winning. When Soo-jin finally disconnected from the Nexus, she could barely stand. Her vision was blurry, and her head felt like it might split open. But she was smiling. "We destroyed over 200 Voron ships," Dr. Lee told her. "They're retreating to regroup." Commander Taeho's face appeared on the main screen. He looked tired but proud. "Well done, Lieutenant," he said. "You've given us something we haven't had in weeks. Hope." Soo-jin nodded weakly. "The Nexus works, but the Voron will be back and with more ships." "Then we'll be ready," her father replied. "They thought we were primitive, easy to conquer. Now they know differently." "What they don't know," Dr. Lee added, "is that this is just the beginning. The Nexus protocol was our first breakthrough. We have more coming." For the first time, humanity had revealed its hidden strength. The war was far from over. But the Voron had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate humans when they're fighting for survival. 6 months into the war, Earth was a wounded planet. The Voron had destroyed many cities. Over 1 billion people had died. But humans kept fighting back, stronger than before. Commander Taeho Kim stood in the underground war room, looking at the large screen that showed Earth from space. Red dots marked Voron-controlled areas. Blue dots showed the remaining human strongholds. There were far more red than blue. "They're bringing in reinforcements," said Officer Minji, pointing to new signals at the edge of the solar system. "At least 500 more ships." Taeho's face remained calm, but inside he felt the pressure of command. Every decision he made affected humanity's chances of survival. "We can't keep fighting them the same way," he said. "We win small battles, but they always come back with more ships." Dr. Jiwoo Park entered the room carrying a data tablet. Since the war began, she had been studying Voran communications, trying to understand their weaknesses. "Commander, I've found something important," she said. "The Voran don't think like us. They function more like a hive mind. Their ships and soldiers always follow orders from above, never making their own decisions. That's why they're so coordinated," Taeho realized. "Yes, but it's also a weakness. When Colonel Junho's team disrupted their communications, they couldn't function well. They need constant contact with their command ship." Taeho looked at the largest red dot on the screen, the Voran flagship in orbit around Earth. "So if we could take out their command ship," he said slowly, "the entire fleet would be confused, at least temporarily." Jiwoo finished. Taeho nodded. "That's our target then. But how do we attack their strongest ship? They keep it heavily protected." "I have an idea," Jiwoo said, "but it's dangerous. Very dangerous." In the medical wing, Lieutenant Sujin Kim recovered from her latest Nexus connection. Each time she linked with the defense systems, her body paid a heavy price. Nosebleeds, severe headaches, sometimes even seizures. The doctors warned she couldn't continue much longer. Dr. Hyunbin Lee visited her room, bringing new brain scan results. "Your neural patterns are changing," he said, showing her the images. "The Nexus is rewiring your brain." "Is that bad?" Sujin asked. "We don't know. No one has used the system as much as you have." He hesitated. "But you're getting better. At it faster, more efficient," Sujin nodded. Despite the pain, each connection felt more natural than the last. She could control more satellites, process more information. "How soon can I connect again?" she asked. "Your father wants you ready for a special mission," Dr. Lee said. "Something big is coming." Colonel Junho Park and his team had learned to live in the ruins. They moved at night, hiding during the day. They communicated using hand signals and simple radios that the Voran couldn't detect. That night, they met in the basement of a destroyed school. Commander Taeho's face appeared on a small, secure screen. "Colonel, we're planning our biggest attack yet," Taeho said. "Operation Thunderstorm." "What's the target?" Junho asked. "The Voran command ship. Dr. Lee has developed new weapons, quantum disruption bombs. They don't just destroy, they create a field that blocks Voran communications completely." "Getting close enough to plant bombs on their main ship would be impossible," Junho said. "Not if we use a distraction," Taeho replied. "And not if we hide the bombs inside a ship they won't suspect." He paused. "I'll be leading this mission myself." Junho was surprised. The commander rarely left headquarters. "With respect, sir, that's too risky. We can't lose you." "This mission has a low survival chance," Taeho admitted, "but high reward. If we succeed, we might turn the entire war around." In the lab, Dr. Lee showed Commander Taeho the quantum disruption bombs. They were small black spheres that hummed softly. "These create a field that blocks quantum entanglement," Dr. Lee explained. "The Voran use quantum signals to communicate instantly across space. These bombs will cut off their command ship from the rest of their fleet." "For how long?" Taeho asked. 15 to 20 minutes at most. After that, they'll adapt." "That's our window then," Taeho said. "Lieutenant Kim will need to be ready with everything we have left." The plan was set. Commander Taeho would lead a small team in a captured Voran shuttle. They would approach the command ship, appearing to be returning from a surface mission. Meanwhile, Colonel Junho's ground forces would attack Voran bases on Earth, drawing attention away from space. Lieutenant Sujin would connect to the Nexus, ready to command all remaining orbital weapons the moment the bombs activated. The night before the mission, Taeho visited his daughter. She sat up in her hospital bed when he entered. "You should be resting," he said. "So should you," she replied with a small smile. They sat in silence for a moment. Both knew the risks of tomorrow's mission. "If something happens to me," Taeho finally said, "You'll need to take command." Sujin shook her head. "Nothing will happen, the plan will work." Taeho took her hand. "Sujin, we need to be realistic. The chances of my team returning are not good. Then why are you going? She asked, though she already knew the answer. Because sometimes a commander has to lead from the front. Because the bombs need to be placed precisely. Because that's what humans do, Sujin finished. We sacrifice for each other. Taiho nodded. The Vorin don't understand that. It's why they'll lose even if they have better technology. The next day, Operation Thunderstorm began. Colonel Junho's forces launched simultaneous attacks on Vorin ground bases across Asia. The aliens responded quickly, sending ships and troops to crush the human resistance. In orbit, Commander Taiho's stolen shuttle approached the massive Vorin command ship. It was enormous, nearly 10 kilometers long with weapon ports covering its surface. Transmitting Vorin identification codes, said Officer Minji, who had volunteered for the mission. Let's hope they still work. The command ship sent back a response. The shuttle was cleared to dock. They took the bait, Taiho said. Remember, once we're inside, we have 15 minutes to reach the central hub and plant the bombs. The shuttle docked with a soft thud. The team, dressed in stolen Vorin gear, moved quickly through the alien ship. The disguises wouldn't fool the Vorin up close, but they might buy precious minutes. In Dr. Lee's lab, Sujin prepared for neural connection. Technicians attached the sensors to her head and body. This will be the longest connection yet, Dr. Lee warned. The operation might take 30 minutes or more. I can handle it, Sujin said firmly. The moment the disruption bombs activate, you'll need to attack with everything we have. Every satellite, every remaining fighter. Sujin nodded. I'm ready. The mic connection started. Sujin felt the familiar rush as her mind expanded into the defense network. She could see Earth, the orbiting Vorin ships, and the huge command vessel where her father was now fighting for humanity's survival. Commander Taiho's team made it halfway to the central hub before they were discovered. Alarms blared throughout. The Vorin ship. Run! Taiho ordered as alien soldiers appeared at the end of the corridor. They sprinted forward, firing back at their pursuers. 2 of Taiho's team fell, but the rest reached a large door that led to the ship's power core. Plant the bombs here, Taiho said. The power systems will amplify the disruption field. As his team worked quickly to set the devices, Taiho held off the approaching Vorin. A shot hit his shoulder, burning through his armor. He kept firing. Bombs set, Officer Minji called. 2-minute timer. Everyone back to the shuttle, Taiho ordered. But as he turned, more Vorin soldiers appeared, blocking their escape route. They were trapped. Taiho made a split-second decision. Minji, take the team through the maintenance tunnels. I'll hold them here. But sir, that's an order. Earth needs this mission to succeed. As his team retreated, Taiho continued firing at the advancing aliens. When his weapon finally emptied, he looked at the timer on the nearest bomb. 30 seconds. He activated his emergency communication device, a direct line to the defense network. Sujin, he said. The bombs are set. Get ready. Through the YAR. Neural connection, Sujin heard her father's voice. Copy that, standing by. I won't be coming back, Taiho said calmly. You know what to do. Before Sujin could respond, the bombs detonated. A wave of energy spread throughout the Vorin command ship. All communication with the rest of their fleet instantly cut off. In that moment of confusion, Sujin launched humanity's full counterattack. Every weapon, every satellite, every remaining fighter targeted the disorganized Vorin ships, and as his consciousness faded, Commander Taiho broadcast one final message to both human forces and Vorin command. This is how humans fight when we have nothing left to lose. The day after Operation Thunderstorm, Earth celebrated its first major victory. Commander Taiho Kim's sacrifice had not been in vain. When the quantum disruption bombs exploded, the Vorin fleet lost all coordination. Lieutenant Sujin Kim, connected to the Nexus Protocol, had directed Earth's counterattack with deadly precision. Nearly half the Vorin ships were destroyed before they could regroup. But victory came with a price. Commander Taiho was gone. The remaining leaders of Earth's defense forces gathered in the underground command center. The mood was solemn as Officer Minji, who had barely escaped the Vorin command ship, gave her report. The commander stayed behind to make sure the bombs would activate, she said, her voice breaking slightly. His last words were transmitted to all channels. On the main screen, they played Commander Taiho's final message. This is how humans fight when we have nothing left to lose. Dr. Jiwoo Park wiped away a tear. He always believed humanity would find a way to win this war. Colonel Junho Park, his uniform still dirty from battle, looked around the room. So who takes command now? All eyes turned to Lieutenant Sujin Kim. Though still weak from her extended Nexus connection, she stood tall. By the chain of command, leadership falls to me, she said. Her voice was steady despite her grief. My father prepared me for this possibility. No one challenged her. In the months of fighting, Sujin had proven herself again and again. The Nexus Protocol had given her a unique understanding of the war from orbit. Commander Kim, Dr. Lee said, using her new title for the first time. The Vorin are retreating to the edge of our solar system, but my analysis suggests they're not leaving. They're regrouping, Sujin said, preparing for a bigger attack. Dr. Lee nodded grimly. Our sensors detect massive energy signatures. I believe they're calling for reinforcements from their home fleet. How long do we have? Asked Colonel Junho. 2 weeks, maybe 3. Sujin looked at the tactical display. Earth had won a battle, but the war was far from over, and they had lost too much already. Then we need something more powerful than the disruption bombs, she said. Something that can end this war once and for all. Dr. Lee hesitated. There is one possibility, a project I've been working on in secret. Your father called it the Omega Protocol. Deep beneath the mountains, in a section of the lab that few had ever seen, Dr. Lee showed Sujin a strange device. It looked like a sphere of dark metal floating inside a containment field. What is it? Sujin asked. A theoretical weapon, Dr. Lee explained. It creates an artificial singularity, a small, controlled black hole. Sujin stared at the device, in shock. A black hole? Here on Earth? The singularity would be tiny and temporary, Dr. Lee assured her, but powerful enough to swallow a large portion of space before collapsing. If placed in the middle of the Vorin fleet, it would destroy them all at once, Sujin finished. In theory, yes, but there are serious problems. First, we need enormous power to activate it, more than all of Earth's remaining power plants, combined. Second, we have no way to deliver it remotely. Someone would need to pilot it directly into the Vorin fleet. A suicide mission, Sujin said quietly. Dr. Lee nodded. And third, we've never tested it. The mathematics suggest it will work, but if something goes wrong, it could destroy Earth instead of saving it. Exactly. Sujin looked at the device for a long time. Her father would have called it a last resort. But with the Vorin preparing, their biggest attack yet, last resorts were all they had left. Begin preparations, she ordered. Connect every power source we have left. We need to be ready when the Vorin return. 2 weeks passed quickly. All around the world, humans worked day and night to prepare for the final battle. Every remaining power plant was connected to Dr. Lee's laboratory. Fighter pilots trained for one last mission. Colonel Junho's ground forces set up defensive positions around the lab, ready to protect it at all costs. Sujin spent most of her time in the command center, studying Vorin tactics and planning Earth's defense. But late at night, she would visit her father's memorial and speak to him as if he could hear. I don't know if I'm making the right choices, she whispered one night. The Omega Protocol could save everyone, or doom us all. How did you always know what to do? The memorial, a simple stone with Taiho's name, offered no answers, but somehow speaking her doubts aloud made them easier to bear. On the 17th day after Operation Thunderstorm, the alarm sounded. Dr. Jiwoo burst into the command center. They're back, she said. And it's worse than we thought. The main screen showed the approaching Vorin armada. It wasn't hundreds of ships, it was thousands. The largest fleet ever assembled in Earth's solar system. They're determined to finish us this time, Colonel Junho said grimly. Sujin studied the tactical display. The Vorin ships were still days away, gathering near the orbit of Mars. They were being cautious after their recent defeat. Dr. Lee, is the Omega Protocol ready? She asked. As ready as it can be without testing, he replied. But Commander, we still don't have a delivery method. I'll deliver it, Sujin said quietly. The room fell silent. Everyone understood what she was offering. Commander, we can't lose you too, Dr. Jiwoo protested. I'm the best pilot we have, Sujin replied. And I've used the Nexus protocol more than anyone. I have the best chance of getting through their defenses. No one could argue with her logic, but Dr. Lee looked troubled. There's something else you should know, he said. The neural changes from your Nexus connections. They're unusual. What do you mean? Your brain has adapted to the interface in ways we didn't predict. You're processing information faster than any human should be able to. Almost as if what? As if you're evolving into something new, something beyond normal human capabilities. Sujin wasn't sure how to respond to that. She had noticed changes in herself, faster thinking, sharper instincts, sometimes knowing things without understanding how she knew them. All the more reason for me to pilot the mission, she finally said. But first we need a plan to get the Vorin into position. Colonel Junho volunteered his forces for the most dangerous part of the plan. They would launch Earth's remaining fighters in a direct assault on the Vorin fleet. Not to win, but to draw the aliens into a tight formation where the Omega Protocol would be most effective. It's a one-way trip, Junho acknowledged. But everyone in my unit has lost someone to the Vorin. They'll volunteer. And while they engage, the fleet, Sujin continued, I'll approach from behind Mars, hidden from their sensors. When they concentrate on destroying our fighters, I'll activate the device. Dr. Lee nodded. The singularity will expand rapidly, consuming everything within approximately 100,000 kilometers. You'll need to activate it and eject immediately. What are the chances of escaping the gravity well once it forms? Sujin asked. Dr. Lee hesitated. Very low. Near zero, actually. Sujin accepted this with a calm nod. Then we all know what we're risking. Start the final preparations. We launch in 6 hours. As the others left to prepare, Dr. Jiwoo stayed behind. Your father would be proud, she said softly. I hope so, Sujin replied. He gave his life to save Earth. Now I might have to do the same. The difference is, you might end the war completely. The Vorin will never threaten Earth again. Sujin looked at the image of the approaching alien armada. Thousands of ships coming to finish what they started. That's the plan, she said. Attack again and face total annihilation. The small ship carrying the Omega Protocol moved silently through space. Commander Sujin Kim piloted it carefully, staying in the shadow of Mars to avoid Vorin sensors. The device hummed softly behind her, its dark metal surface reflecting the distant stars. Approaching position, Sujin reported to Earth base. No sign they've detected me yet. Copy that, Commander. Dr. Lee's voice came through her headset. Colonel Junho's fighters are preparing to launch. Remember, you need to be at least 10,000 kilometers clear before activating the device. Understood, Sujin replied, though they both knew escape might be impossible. She checked the ship's systems one last time. Everything was ready. Now she just needed the Vorin fleet to move into position. On Earth, Colonel Junho briefed his pilots. They were a mix of military flyers and civilians who had learned to fight during the war. All volunteers, all knowing this would likely be their final mission. The goal is not to win, Junho reminded them. It's to make the Vorin concentrate their forces, draw them together into a tight formation. And then what? Asked one of the newer pilots. Junho exchanged glances with the veterans who already understood. And then we give Commander Kim her shot. The pilots climbed into their fighters, a mix of human craft and captured Vorin vessels. Earth had thrown everything into this last battle. Launch in 5 minutes, Junho announced. Remember what we're fighting for. In the command center, Dr. Jiwoo monitored Vorin communications. Since studying their language, she had learned to predict their tactics. They're moving toward Earth in a standard attack formation, she reported. Their main fleet will be in position in 20 minutes. Dr. Lee stood beside her, watching the tactical display. Red dots for Vorin ships, blue for the few human defenders. The numbers were overwhelmingly against them. Colonel Junho's fighters are launching now, an officer announced. On the screen, tiny blue dots rose from Earth, speeding toward the Voron Armada. And Commander Kim? Dr. Jiwoo asked. In position and waiting. The officer replied. The Voron haven't detected her yet. Dr. Lee touched the simple silver ring on his finger. His wife had died in the first Voron attack on Seoul. Like everyone in this room, he had personal reasons to see this mission succeed. Now we wait, he said quietly. Colonel Junho led the fighter attack personally. His squadron shot toward the Voron fleet at maximum speed. All fighters, weapons free, he ordered. Hit them hard and fast. Make them angry. The human ships opened fire as soon as they were in range. Their weapons were weak compared to Voron technology, but they struck with precision, targeting engines and weapon systems. The Voron response was immediate. Hundreds of alien fighters swarmed from their carrier ships. They're taking the bait, Junho said. Keep moving. Don't let them surround you. The space around Earth lit up with weapon fire. Human pilots fought with desperate courage, weaving through the alien formations, striking where they could and then racing away. Colonel, the main fleet is changing position, his tactical officer reported. They're moving closer together for better defense. Junho allowed himself a grim smile. The plan was working. All units, pull back toward Sector 7. Make them follow us. From her hidden position, Sujin watched the battle unfold. The Voron ships were indeed clustering together, their formation tightening as they pursued the human fighters. Commander Kim, they're in position, Dr. Lee's voice came through. The Voron fleet has concentrated in the target zone. Sujin checked her instruments. The Omega protocol was fully charged, drawing power from her ship's engines. Once activated, she would have less than a minute to get clear, if escape was even possible. Starting my approach, she reported, guiding her ship out from behind Mars. She activated the Nexus neural link one last time. The familiar rush of information flooded her mind. But this time something was different. Her awareness expanded beyond the ship, beyond normal human perception. She could sense the quantum states of space itself, the delicate balance of forces that the Omega protocol would disrupt. And she could sense something else. The Voron collective consciousness. A vast network of minds all connected to one another. For a brief moment she understood them. They weren't evil, just utterly alien. They saw individual lives as meaningless. Only the collective mattered. Commander? Are you all right? Dr. Lee asked, concerned by her silence. I'm fine, Sujin replied. Just seeing things differently. She pushed her ship to full speed, racing toward the Voron fleet from behind. By the time their sensors detected her, it would be too late. Colonel Junho's fighters were taking heavy losses now. More than half his squadron was gone, but they had succeeded in their mission. The Voron fleet had formed a tight defensive sphere, their ships positioned to support one another. Colonel, we're detecting a new signal, his tactical officer said suddenly. It's Commander Kim. She's approaching the Voron fleet from Sector 12. Junho immediately opened a channel to all remaining fighters. All units, maximum distance from the Voron fleet now. I repeat, clear the area immediately. His fighters broke away, accelerating to safety. Some of the Voron ships tried to pursue, but most remained in formation, still unaware of the real threat approaching from behind. Sujin's ship raced toward the Voron fleet. Warning alarms blared as alien weapons locked onto her. They've spotted me, she reported. 15 seconds to optimal position. On Earth, the command center fell silent. Everyone watched the tiny blue dot moving toward the mass of red. Dr. Lee closed his eyes briefly, offering a silent prayer for Sujin. 10 seconds, Sujin's voice came through, calm despite everything. Omega protocol ready for activation. The first Voron shots hit her ship, damaging the engines. Warnings flashed across her controls. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Omega. Protocol activated. Through the neural link, Sujin felt the device engage. Space itself seemed to shudder. A point of absolute darkness formed in front of her ship, no larger than a marble at first. Then it began to grow. Ejecting now, she reported, hitting the escape sequence, Her small escape pod shot away from the ship as the black hole expanded, rapidly. The Voran fleet, finally realizing the danger, tried to scatter, but the Singularity's gravity well was already too strong. One by one, alien ships were pulled toward the darkness. In her escape pod, Sujin fought against the pull. Her engine strained at maximum power, but she was being drawn backward. The neural link showed her exactly what was happening. The space around the black hole warping, crushing the Voran ships like toys. "Commander, can you break free?" Dr. Lee asked urgently. "Negative," Sujin replied. "But the Omega Protocol worked. The Voran fleet is being destroyed." On Earth, the command center watched in awe as the Singularity consumed the alien armada. Thousands of Voran ships disappeared into the darkness. "The Singularity is stable," Dr. Lee reported. "It's exactly as the calculations predicted. It will collapse on itself in approximately 3 minutes. "And Commander Kim?" Dr. Jiwoo asked. Dr. Lee checked the data with a heavy heart. "Her pod is too close to the event horizon. She won't be able to escape the gravitational pull." Sujin knew she couldn't escape. Her pod was being pulled inexorably toward the black hole, but through the Nexus link, she sensed something unexpected. A quantum fluctuation in the Singularity's boundary. As her father had once told her, humans find a way to survive, even when it seems impossible. She directed all power to her neural interface, focusing her enhanced mind on that fluctuation. There was a chance, tiny but real, that she could ride the collapsing Singularity through a momentary wormhole effect. "Earthbase, I'm going to try something," she said. "If it works, I'll see you soon. If not..." She paused. "It's been an honor." Her pod disappeared into the blackness. 3 days later, Earth's long-range sensors detected new ships entering the solar system. Not Voran vessels, but ships from dozens of different alien species. The largest bore the mark of the Galactic Federation. Colonel Junho, now acting commander of Earth's forces, ordered all remaining defenses to stand ready. But the alien fleet made no aggressive moves. Instead, they sent a message. "People of Earth, we are representatives of the Galactic Federation. The defeat of the Voran Collective has come to our attention. We request a diplomatic meeting." In the command center, Dr. Lee and Dr. Jiwoo exchanged looks of cautious hope. "Should we trust them?" Colonel Junho asked. "We should meet them," Dr. Jiwoo said. But from a position of strength, when the Galactic Federation's representatives arrived at the orbital meeting point, they found Earth's leaders waiting, Colonel Junho, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Jiwoo. And to everyone's amazement, Commander Sujin Kim stood with them, somehow returned from the impossible. "The Voran believed they could conquer us because we were technologically primitive," Sujin told the alien delegation. "They learned too late that technology alone doesn't determine the outcome of war. The Galactic Federation offered Earth membership, technology, and help rebuilding. In return, they asked only one thing: to understand how humans had defeated the supposedly invincible Voran." Sujin's reply became Earth's message to the stars. "We welcome friendship and peaceful exchange, but let all species remember: attack Earth again and face total annihilation." The universe had learned an important lesson. Even the most seemingly primitive species could become the most dangerous when fighting for survival. And HE